Okay. Glad you guys could hop on here tonight. I'm hoping to be able to share this video with some new ambassadors. We have so many new people that have joined our team. We're going to watch a portion of a video tonight by Robin Sullivan. She is a new Diamond ambassador. And she's very transparent. She's going to tell us lots of interesting things. I've listened to it already, and the thing I want to say before we start is I want you to be able to take notes if you want to. If she talks about things that don't make sense to you, scrap those things unless it's something specific that you want to know about. And the reason I say that is because she made this Zoom specifically, or she recorded this video talking to other jewels. And so she's talking to people who've been in the business for a long time, people who know what's been going on behind the scenes and stuff. And so some of the stuff that she talks about in this video, you may be like, I don't know what she's talking about. That's okay. Especially if it's about old stuff. Don't worry your pretty little mind. Oh, what a sweetie. Oh my gosh. Hi, baby. So don't worry if there's something that she talks about that you don't understand, because I almost didn't use the video because of the fact that there are some things like that. I think I've fast forwarded through some of it that would be like, what is she talking about? But I wanted you to hear about the momentum that happened on her team, because she hit Sapphire, and then God was like, go straight for Diamond in the same month. Like, it was like she had a few days to go from Sapphire to Diamond, and she felt the Holy Spirit just say, keep going. And so in like 3 days, she gained 1,500 points in her team. And you may be like, if you're new, you're going, what are points? How do you get 1,500 of them? If you've been around for a long time, you're like, how could she do that? Okay. But the beauty of what I want you to embrace here is, because what may have been stopping you all along is the understanding of how points accumulate when it's not just you. Like when you're the one that's the main heavy hitter on your team, and so far you've sponsored maybe a couple people, or you haven't sponsored anybody yet, and you're looking at the point system and you're going, I don't see how that could ever accumulate to that degree. Well, the beauty of it is that when, what do they say? Many hands make light work, or something like that. When many people are trying to achieve their goals at the same time you're trying to achieve your goal. That's why it's so important in the very beginning, if you get a chance to find out from the person who has joined you, to find out what are your goals. Like, what is it that you would like to see happen? That way, when you are talking to that person, you're not just throwing mud up against the wall thinking you know what the goals are of the person that you have sponsored. We may not know. So you may assume that they joined to lose weight, and they're not telling you that they really want to make some money too, or vice versa. I'm just saying they may have health goals that you don't know about as well. So we're going to cut into the video at this point. But before we do, in case somebody has to jump off early, I think I should probably lead with saying there's a couple things going on right now. One is the social media challenge that we're doing right now. Sometimes I have those moments where I see something and go, oh, that's what we're supposed to do next. And sometimes I go around looking for something to do next. Those are two very different worlds, by the way. When something just jumps out at you and it says, it's time for this, introduce this to your team, do it with them, like lock arms, do it at the same time. In those instances, I get excited because I know it's going to have fruit, rather than me looking for something to do and finding something that'll work. Okay. This social media challenge, what I am hoping will stick with you. My goal of the social media challenge is to get you started in a routine that you realize is not complicated. And then after a few days, seeing that the consistency pays off. So like if day one, you're like, nothing happened, you got to give it here's the thing I see with people, because here's the thing I see happening the most is consistency never fails to pay off. Never fails. Someone who is consistent and doesn't back off eventually will start sinking some hooks. That's what I see happen. So what I would like for you guys to do is use this as a springboard, the social media challenge, those of you who are doing it, using it as a springboard to create consistent habits and to realize it's kind of like before you've ever taken Plexus, you go, oh, I don't know, I've never done it before. Is it going to be difficult to fit into my routine? And then somebody hands you a sample and you shake it in a water bottle while you drive and you go, oh, wow, that was silly of me to think that was difficult, right? Once I broke down stories for you and created some stories, right? Like added them to the group, you go, oh, okay. You just go add, approve, add, approve, add, approve, add, approve. And you've created a story and you go, oh, I don't know how to create that poll thing. And then you figure that out and you go, oh, I'm dangerous. Like now that I know how, right? Yeah, I know Diane's excited, aren't you, Diane? Me too, because this is my first time to consistently try this. So if you have felt left out and you're like, I feel left out. Okay. The next thing, spoiler alert, is that coming up on Thursday night is an event that you're going to want everybody to participate in. Trust me. You're going to want everybody participating in the event on Thursday night. And so tomorrow and the next day, I want you to have that in the back of your mind because I'm going to be adding to whatever your social media challenge is, some wording and possibilities of ways to get people to be interested in actually participating in the social media challenge. So, I'm sorry, not the social media challenge. We don't want other people participating in that. To be participating in the event for Thursday night. Let me look at my notes really quick. Robin is about to talk about something in this video called, she's going to call it ATM, possibly, I can't remember, but she's talking about add, tag, and message. That's something that we do. I've just never really called it that specifically. So when I use this wording, and if you want this wording later, I have it typed up. I see somebody post a picture of their daughter's eczema, for example, okay? I reach out and say, hey, I saw the post that you made, and I've seen something relevant that might help you. Can I tag you in something? They say, sure. So, and this is how I've written it out. Hey, I want to tag you in something you would be interested to read. Is that okay? Yes. Let them respond. If okay, then you're going to send them the link to the Beauty Inside and Out group. Let me know when you're in there so I can tag you. Then you tag them in the post that you think they'd be interested in. This goes for everything that you see online, or if somebody's talking to you out and about, if whatever, you say, hey, I saw something I want to tag you in. We've made it too hard, y'all. Since I have moved to this way of adding people to, people don't tell me no anymore. They're like, okay. And I say, okay, here's a link. I'm going to tag you. And I'm not talking about tagging them in a party. I'm talking about a testimony that's in the group when a party's not going on. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying you're going to go searching for people the day of the party. I'm talking about on a regular basis. How often does it scroll through your newsfeed that somebody's talking about their celiac, their food allergy, their kid, their peanut allergy, they can't have this at school, da-da-da-da-da, all these things. There are testimonies in that Beauty Inside and Out group that are perfect, okay? So I will put that wording if you want to start using it. That's one of those things that you can copy word for word. It's not anybody else's language. You could say it exactly like I said it. It's effective and it works. Then you add those people to the list of people in the group that you have added. You add them to a list. And next time there is an event announced, tag them in the post announcing it. And then later, tag them in a post on the day of the said event. Then you're going to send them the link to the group the day of, so that you say, hey, they're doing some giveaways in that group tonight at 7 if you'd like to participate. They're doing some giveaways in that group. tonight at 7 if you'd like to participate. All right. Okay, here we go with the video. Can you guys see it? All right.
We've been Zoomed like crazy. So, and now people know what Zoom is, so they're not afraid of Zoom. People are, just.
She's talking about the pandemic. I forgot to say that. This first part, she's talking about the fact that the pandemic set up a perfect atmosphere. The quarantine, I think is how she referred to it.
Paul says when there's an economic downturn, people are really more open to opportunities like this, especially people in my demographic. They're just more open now. They're thinking about, oh, I really need a plan B. I really need supplemental income. So I think the pandemic had a lot to do with our exponential growth. But I have to say, it literally was six and a half years of me just never giving up, always believing in my people. I knew there are people that have gone dual after being with me for 5 years, and I just always believed that they'd be dual. So I just continue just to breathe life into them and pour belief into them. So I do think that was a big part of it as well. But the online launch events is hands down how we got to Diamond and Diamond Reentry. So the online launch events, essentially when we're signing people up on the phone, we ask them if they're interested in earning 660, okay, or the month that before they changed the welcome pack bonuses, we were saying 760 or 700, whatever it was. And when we're signing them up, we're asking them, are they interested? And we also call it a referral program. I think another girl that just went Emerald, she calls it that. And I think that it's the wording, the messaging that matters. And when we get them on the phone and we're signing them up and we ask them that and they say they're open, then we immediately ask them to make a list of 100 people. So I use the breadcrumb method. I have so many level ones. I think that was part of the reason why I went reentry so fast, because I'm super wide. Like, for 5-6 years, I got my first jewels when I went diamond. So I've never had a jewel. So I had to go super wide in order to have a stable business. And I really think that when all of these people realize, man, if I could just go get my people, my brand new people to go get 3 and 6 and 10, that's what really created this exponential growth. So I had them make a list of 100 before I would even schedule a Zoom call. I know that sounds like a lot, but the way that I get people to do that, I just go straight to their Facebook profile when they tell me they don't know 100 people. Like, I don't know 100 people. And I'm like, oh, well, you have 1,000 friends on Facebook. So how do you not know 100 people? And then I'll say, how many people do you have in your contacts list in your phone? And they'll go and I literally make them look and they'll tell me the number. And so that's how I get them to make the list of 100. Until they physically send me the list, I will not even set a date to do the call. Okay. Because they have to show me that they're serious. Otherwise, it's a waste of my time. So they send me the list of 100, and then I tell them, okay, I'm going to do your graphic. I'm going to create the Zoom link. I'm going to send you the verbiage that you need to send. And I tell them, tweak the verbiage so it sounds like your voice, but I want you to send it back to me for approval, because sometimes people will change one word and it changes the whole message. Okay. So I'm very much so a stickler, because I was an educator. I'm kind of anal, and I'm sure you're like, this chick is flipping crazy, but it's what's worked for us. Okay. So they send it back. I tweak it. I then send them off. I make their graphic, and then they invite their 100 people. I continue to text them and ask them, hey, how many have you invited now? Like, I'm staying on top of them. So then I do the event, and breakdown of the event is simply they welcome their people. They share their testimony. If they don't even have a testimony yet because they're so new, they just share why they started Plexus. This is why I was interested. This is why I reached out to Robin. And then they pass it over to me. I share my testimony, and then I do break down the product. I do that because I know for my demographic, people really need to understand products are so effective, and it allows me to train my new person on Why is the triplex so effective? Why is gut health, inflammation, and blood sugar? Why is that the root cause of most people's health issues in this country? So I really break the triplex down in particular, and then I kind of gloss over active and metaburn. I go really fast. It's super fast because I try to make this call no longer than 30, 40 minutes max, depending on the questions that are asked afterwards. So I do that. And this is being duplicated down all throughout my team. Like, I only do this for my level ones. I did do one call where it was kind of like a mock call where all of my teammates hopped on and saw what I did, and I reported it. And some of them literally went and maybe they took notes while they watched the playback. And then I go and then that's duplicated down all throughout my team. So the launch events, hands down, has been how we've duplicated, how we've gotten so many of these people to earn the impact incentive. And then once they get 6, they're just so excited. Now we're getting people to super silver super fast, So that's been a big part of our push. I do team calls. I've done team calls literally for 5, 6 years. Whenever we started doing Zoom is when I started doing team calls, and I've maybe missed 1 or 2 Tuesdays in 4 or 5 years. I do it every single week. I became a certified John.
Can y'all still hear it? I mean, before I just now pushed stop, could you hear it? Jetty came in here. Okay. It must be your computer. Jetty just came in here. He was afraid that that we stopped. Okay.
Coach, because I knew I needed to raise my leadership lid to be able to keep pouring into people. Because I knew that I was going to be in this for the long haul. I knew it was probably going to take me a while to produce some jewels because there were so many mindset issues. A lot of people were dealing with toxic thoughts. And so, or just not believing in themselves. So I spent a lot of time just raising my own leadership lid. And so that really gave me the ability. A lot of my team calls aren't about the products or how to work the business. They're just about believing in yourself. We do book studies every quarter. So my team reads 4 books a year. And they're all of them are highly attended. They're well attended. We have about 100 people in our call every week. So I feel like it's just, again, me just planting those seeds for years, and I'm just now reaping a harvest. That's a big part of that. But the Tuesday night team call, I do every single week. And then right after that, I do an accountability call. And these are people that just are showing an interest in really wanting to move the needle forward in their business faster. In order to be in the accountability call, they have to turn in, I have a whole chat group for the accountability group people. And they have to turn in a sheet with 30 names and 60 names, really. 30 names of new people they reach out to and 30 follow-ups that they.
Okay, I'm going to pause this really quick and say this. If this feels overwhelming to you, the stuff that she's talking about, trust me when I say she's talking about the way that they got quickly where they were going. So this could be broken up into incremental bites, basically incremental. So it doesn't have to be like she's talking about every single week and every single month and every single this and every single that. She has been doing this consistent recently, and she's telling you about her recent success. So it could be like, if you are someone who doesn't work the business full time, don't let this overwhelm you. She's just giving you an idea of how she did it and how she did it fast once she decided to do it fast. Okay.
And then they also have to show that they have a subscription set for the 15th. I've got a lot of in-between people, so I have a lot of compression that goes on. And so I'm like, if you're going to be a business builder, if you're going to be a leader on this team, your subscription needs to go through on the 15th. So I'm a stickler about that so that we don't have a ton of compression happening, because people don't know until they even get to probably Jewel that that's even a thing, So I try to teach my leaders early on that that's something they want to train their business builders to do. So that's how they get into the call. If they don't turn in a sheet, then they don't get into the call. That's it. And, you know how it is. I mean, people kind of want to be a part of the group, so they do it because there's that accountability there, and they've got accountability partners in the group that if they didn't turn in their sheet, then someone else is saying, hey girl, why don't you turn it? Where are you? Why don't you turn in your sheet? So that's been beneficial. We've been doing a Thursday prayer call, probably for the past 2 years. It's a Thursday at 6:30 a.m. I have a pastor couple on my team. She'll probably go Jewel this month. Just really great men and women of God. Been praying over our team every single week on Thursdays for at least 2 years, just opening it up for our whole team. So we have quite a few people on that every week. The other thing that we do a lot of, I started kind of raising up leaders to do their own power hours. So we have between 3 to 5 power hours a week. I'm not on any of them. I don't do any of those. Those are just leaders that and they feel like leaders. You know, it's kind of me empowering them to go lead the rest of the team. And so they offer those power hours to everybody on our team, but it'll be like a leader from this leg is doing this power hour on Wednesday nights, and another leader on Saturday. They call Saturday Soldiers, and they wake up at 6 o'clock and they do power hour. So it just builds community, having all these power hours happening at different times, and just offering it up just for different people's schedules. The other thing that we have been doing, so because the Made for More page, the big team page, is really a lot of welcomes and congratulations and then testimonies only, we try to do something different here the past couple months. We have a series that we do. It's called Why I Said Yes to the Biz. So it's really to cast vision to people in the Made for More page, which is just the happy wholesalers are just in there. And so what it is I have leaders that they go live, and I don't know about y'all, but was there a time frame that we couldn't do a share screen on live on Facebook? Do y'all remember that? It went away, and then now it's come back. So now you can actually get on live on Facebook and have a shared screen with somebody. So they have changed that. That's just happened here recently. So we go on our Made for More page, the big wholesale page, and I have leaders that basically interview 2 other ambassadors on our team and ask them why they said yes to the biz. So there's specific questions that they'll ask. They don't ask every person each question, but they just ask a few questions. And so the purpose of that is really to cast vision and help people to see, oh, I identify with that lady. She was a teacher, or she's a dentist, and she's doing Plexus now. It just helps them to see that other people that are normal and that we're not crazy and that we're sharing the products. So that's been really helpful. We do that once a week. We call it Freedom Friday. Okay. Let me see. I'll talk to you about, do y'all want me to share kind of how we went from diamond to diamond re-entry? Y'all want me to share that towards the end? Okay. I'll share kind of what we did that month to really make it happen. What I also do are these, I want to say welcome/vision casting calls. Okay. So each one of my legs, let's just say one leg adds 150 people, and the other leg, I have another leg that maybe they added 75 people. They have all their brand new people, and they invite them to a welcome/vision casting call. So I'll do these throughout the week. If my leader doesn't ask for it, I don't do it. So it's not something that's really scheduled. It's just if one of my leaders says, hey, I want you to do a vision casting call, I'll find the time in my schedule to do it. And really what it is, this has really helped a ton. I've been doing this for a long time. It's when I get on a call, and it's my way of getting in front of, it's kind of taprooting. I'm getting in front of all of these new ambassadors and seeing their faces. So let's just say my main leg, her name is Rhea. She will invite all of the new people from her team, okay? Because if we had invited everybody to our call, then we'd have 2 or 3, 4. Last month we'd have 800 people on the call, right? Let's just say we had half of those people join to get on the call. That would be 400 people. That's too many people. You can't have a conversation with that many people. That's why I break it up into legs. And so I do this call where I get on. They say, thank you for joining Plexus. We're so excited for you. They may give like 2 or 3 minutes of tips of how to get started with the products.
I'm about to fast forward her to a portion that I'm really wanting you guys to hear.
Page, but it has been a game changer for my team. So this has been how I coach people. So I want to try to screen share this really quick so you see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Hopefully I can pull this up.
This part.
Can y'all see my screen? Tell me if y'all can see my screen. Yes. Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is the business building packet. I don't know who posted it. It's golden. All I did was change the name because that Leading with Excellence is my business builder page. But every single person that is in my accountability group and every single person that is now in my Hawaii by July group, they have to fill this out every month. Okay. Now, these 2 pages right here are the only ones they have to physically turn into me. And it's basically like their goals. Okay. And this is the springboard for my conversation that I have with people on my coaching calls. If they don't fill this out, I don't talk to them, period. Like, they have to fill this out. So this is they don't have to fill all this in and turn it into me, but they probably are filling this in just because this helps me to help them to see this is how you learn how to rank up, right? You got to fill in the gaps. How are you going to fill in the gaps? But then this is great for your new ambassadors to organize with their people. This is a really good document, just a brain dump. This right here is the sheet that they turn in every single week for their 30 reach outs and 30 follow-ups. And they don't have to all be in that specific category. It's just the numbers, 20, 20, 20. This is a daily IPA tracker, road to recruiting, all of this is stuff y'all know about. But this is all in that packet. So any business builder that I have, I tell them to print this out. And they have this in the very beginning of their business. But the only 2 sheets that I physically am requiring for me to receive every month are these 2 sheets here, because this tells me that they even know how to project where they're going to end up based on the number of ambassadors they're going to add to mills and how many their team is going to add, how much they'll make in their paychecks. So a lot of people, they don't understand how they're getting paid. So this is a training tool because it tells me if this number doesn't coincide with this, or is not even in the ballpark, that means I need to teach them how they even get paid. And then this just people to say, what is my current personal setbacks? Like, this is where I really deal with a lot of this mindset stuff, okay? Because they'll answer these questions, and this is a springboard for a lot of conversation. So that is one of the biggest things that has helped me. I haven't even been using that packet for more than 6 months. Someone posted in the Jules page, and I just loved it, so I adopted it, okay? So the business building packet was huge. The other thing that I want to share, let me see, is when they first join, I tell them there's 2 things that they have to do when they start sharing. They have to learn how to ATM. They have to learn how to send, share, and invite. They have to do a launch event, and if they do consistent posting, those 4 things, they will see their funnel, it will constantly be full, okay? Their funnel will constantly be full. If they're consistently sharing, they're consistently ATMing people, adding them to our prospect page, if they're consistently send, share, and inviting, we call it SSI, ATM, launch events, and duplicating those launch events to everybody on their team, and then consistent posting on Facebook, okay? Our weakest points, y'all, honestly, are the 3-day challenges. Everybody just joins for the wholesale discount. I mean, since they've been doing this, since it's been $9.95, it's hard to even get people into 3-day challenges because people are just going for the gusto. Okay, just join for the discount. Utilize the 6-day money back guarantee, and so no one's even putting people in the 3-day challenge. So this month we're not even doing the challenge. We're just doing a slim down challenge for 3 weeks. Let's see, y'all seeing the same thing, Sarah? Yeah. And so I'm going to break down what my points were. So y'all see, like, I want you guys to have hope, because if I could do this, literally anybody can do this. So I'm going to break down where my points were, how many.
Okay, I'm pausing it. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second because I want to touch base with some of you really quick. Okay. So I would say that Robin probably has a drastically different style of leadership than I do. And if you're used to me and you're watching her, you're like, what's happening? What's happening? The reason I wanted to share this with you guys, hang on. I have somebody unmuted on accident. I updated my Zoom and it makes it more difficult for me to, know where all the buttons are. So, okay. I think it's interesting because the comments are saying, I love the idea of a weekly prayer call. Not at 6:30. Okay. I wanted to show it to you because some people are more geared toward organization and they love that. Like that, right? They like the clean lines, the creased paper, and like somebody said, you got to love teachers. I love Robin Sullivan. She's one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. When I heard her, when I was actually on the call and she said, if they don't hand in that paper, I don't even talk to them. Well, what she means, listen to me, I'm defending her. What she means is, that doesn't mean she won't talk to them at all, but she's not going to give them business hours. She's not going to give them business time. You see what I'm saying? Like, during her work time, those are her friends maybe, or whatever. Do you understand what I'm saying? So anyway, I wanted you to understand that the way that she works the business is, like I say, very different and very more of a leadership style. But the reason I wanted to show it to you guys tonight is this. If that is a style that speaks to you, because I will tell you, I have two really good friends in my life that my style of leadership does not resonate with them at all. Like, they're all like, that's cute. That's how they feel about it. Isn't that sweet the way you do that? And the reason I wanted to share that is because if you would like to see this, her whole video from start to finish and like map out, I do love, the part that I loved is the part I forwarded to, and it's that file that has the part where you can do it for yourself. Please do not turn it into me. If you need someone to hold you accountable, find a friend, kind of yes, okay. Let me tell you too, if she watches this video, I want her to hear me saying, she's one of my favorite people in the whole company, and her intensity level is raised right now because she met a goal and then actually another goal. She went, I think she said she went, I know she went diamond and diamond re-entry because it's like 4,500 points and then 6,000 points. She went diamond and diamond re-entry all at the end of the month. Like, she hit diamond on the 28th and then she gained 1,500 more points. Now, I want to challenge you though, because what can happen under the style of leadership that I present is complete 100 lackadaisical, like, well, I might not do it today. I might wait until the next time I feel like it. And those are the kind that's the effort that you put out. It's absolutely the kind of results that you get in return. And I think that that's pretty much like, no matter what. Like, I don't think there's anybody on the planet who can pick up this Plexus business and work it once or twice a week and get better results than once or twice a week results. Or I don't think that there's anybody that can work the Plexus business full blown the way Robin did and not get the kind of results that she did. Because when you are going that hard at it, that's just what's going to happen. It's just the nature of it. Now, if you're like me and you fall in the between, also, if you're like me and you don't like to hold people accountable, I never hold people accountable. I don't like it. It doesn't fit my personality at all. Like, at all. It doesn't fit my personality. Like, in fact, if people can take that from someone whose personality is like that, when I start trying to do that to someone, they immediately act like I have their arm behind their back and they're like, ow, ow, because they're not used to that from me. My children are not used to that from me. If I'm like, for real, put the towels up, they're like, "Gah, Mom, gah," because they're not used to that from me. They would be used to it if Robin was their mom, right? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so I want to go over a few things. Promise I have a point here. Add tag message. That's one of the things that she said that her team is really good at. The way you get really good at add tag message, and I'm going to speak to you. Yeah. I'm going to speak to all of you on this call as though you are all legs of my team. Okay. Now, some of you might fall within the same leg, but a lot of you, I'm looking at, like, for example, let's see, I'm sitting here going, how many of you are on each other's team, not like under me, but then you're also in the same leg of my team? And there's not very many, which is interesting. So I have several legs of my team on here. And I'm going to say, like, for example, I'm going to use a name that's not on here so that nobody feels like they're going to break out in a sweat. So I'm going to say, if I grab Susie's hand and I said, Susie, okay, this next week we're going to do that social media challenge. And we're going to do it like it's the only job we have right now. The only job we have. And then if I sat down with Susie and said, pull your phone out. I'm going to teach you how to create a story. I just did this with my friend a minute ago, actually. We're going to create a story. And then I'm going to let her do it, hand her phone, and she goes, okay, add, click, add, click, add, click, add, click, add, click, add, click. Create a poll. Here's how you do that. Okay. Oh, okay. That wasn't that bad. How many of you, is that what happened to you this week? That you added a story and it was all just pictures and pictures that layered. And then you go, oh, that wasn't that bad. Oh, and then you have some people pushing buttons, sometimes on accident, right? They didn't mean to push the button, whatever. But we're just getting our feet wet. It's okay. Even if you completely screwed it up and put the pictures in the wrong order, there is some sort of phobia about doing something wrong on social media. But do you ever look around and see it happen all the time? People doing stuff that you go, oops, they didn't mean to do that, whatever it is. I see people sometimes going live on accident. Like they're in the supermarket and they hit live on accident, and like their kid has their phone or whatever. You don't pay any attention to it. It's not the only thing you remember about that person. So break that off of you. Break it off. Break it off of you. The phobia of doing something wrong on Facebook. I can remember my mom. Oh my goodness. It was like, but I don't understand how I know when I'm talking to everyone, or how I know if I'm only talking to one person, right? That's a pretty important distinction to learn, especially if you're going to gossip or something, right? You got to know, you need to know if you're telling the world or if you're talking in Messenger. But if you're working your Plexus business, you've probably figured that much out. You've probably been able to make the distinction between when you're in Messenger and when you're on your wall and all of that. But if stories, and let me tell you what, do you want to know when I got sold on stories? Do you know how long ago it was? I'm going to let somebody guess. Put it in the chat. When did I get sold on stories? I've talked about stories before. It was actually yesterday, like yesterday. I knew that they were working for other people. As for me and my demographic, I was like, I post stories. I mean, I throw them up there. I do like I post whatever, a story. I wasn't utilizing stories though. I wasn't really purposefully knitting a story together until Monday. I did it, and I had, get this, my 19-year-old daughter is about to send out like 6 samples. Yeah, her first actual real Plexus story, and she had that many people. Jetty said, in the beginning, what are you talking about stories? Yeah. So the reason I'm doing this social media challenge with you guys, you'll notice I'm doing everything I'm asking you guys to do. I'm doing it too, and I'm seeing the fruit of it. So I'm going to be putting out a story for you guys to copy and paste every single day for the rest of this challenge. And then tomorrow and the next day, I'm also going to be giving you ideas and language about how to invite people to this event that we're doing Thursday night, right? Okay, now, feel like, hang on, I want to look at something really quick. Add tag message, write that down, ATM, send, share, invite, which is very similar to add tag message. Send, share, invite. Add, I mean, it's the same overall concept, because what it's doing is keeping you from doing one thing. Do you want to know what that is? It's keeping you from doing only one thing, which is posting. Posting and not ever following up on posts. Posting, not keeping a list of names. Posting, not doing the things that it takes to have a $1 million business. Like, if you kind of know that if you're not putting in more than like halfway effort and keeping things a little bit organized, that you're not going to have a $1 million business. Now, the organization can look like the way I do it. It's in my phone. Everybody's in one list. I know that if I don't keep 75 notes on every person I talk to, because the majority of talking that I do is in Messenger. So if I was going to keep notes, it would look just like my messenger chat. If I'm on the phone and I need to keep notes on something somebody told me, I might make a separate note for that person, write down all their things. But the truth is, as often as I do or don't get on the phone with somebody at the portion where I would need to be taking notes, I pretty much am going to remember what they said anyway, because it's a unique situation. I don't get people on the phone unless I am trying to sign it, like it's time, they're ready to sign up. And sometimes then I get them on the phone. If they, at the first sign of trouble, this may be kicker for some of you guys. At the first sign of trouble, I send them my link. I send them a graphic that shows them the instructions. I say words like, I want y'all to say this with me, referral link. Referral link. This is my referral link. This will give me credit. Make sure that you end up on my team and it'll pay me for my efforts. You'll have one too, so that when you give it to your friends and family, you'll have your own referral link. Referral link. Referral link. Not your own website. What? I have to what? People don't understand that. You'll have your own referral link. People who have been doing Groupon and all of these businesses where you share a referral link, where they're not trying to build a business, but they're trying to get $10 for every person who does something, $10 toward another Groupon, $10 toward whatever. People know what a referral link is. Most people do. If you don't believe me on that, trust me, I know on that particular thing, most people do understand referral link. Somebody let the dog in here. And she just ate all the cat's food. And the cat's hiding. Jetty, will you handle that for me? Who let the dogs in is right. Malia, get the dog out of here. She's eating all the food. Somebody is. Oh, it's Daisy. Was it Daisy? Come on. Let's all say this together now. Subscription order. I have people who have been around Plexus for long enough that they say the word AutoQual. People don't know what that is. These days, everybody's been on Pinterest. They've been on Amazon. They know what a subscription order is. That means I order toilet paper once, and if I click the right button, I get it every month. Subscription order. Say that with me, subscription order. Now let's use the word enroll. Enroll. These are words that I had to change those 3 words I had to change in my vocabulary. And sometimes I still have to go, what is that word again? For so long, I used to say join, 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 join. Sign up, sign up, sign up. Enroll. And I'm using these words because these words have been tested to keep people's defenses down. People don't go, wait, what am I doing? What am I signing up for? Is this going to send me something all the time? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? People do understand. It's just a subscription. You can cancel it anytime. They understand enrolling. You're just enrolling. Enroll is it's a more passive word. It's less salesy. It's more trendy for what everybody's used to doing these days. People are used to getting on their computer. Did you know that I have people on my team who would still to this day use the phrase turn on, meaning like, how can I get everybody to turn their subscription on? But they're not saying, they're talking about turn their auto qualification on, turn on. I've got this many turned on and this many turned off. That's old language. Don't say that. If you're one of the ones who says, oh, she just hasn't turned on this, she hasn't turned on that. We don't use that language anymore. Trust me, it's outdated. Hang on. All right.
So Lori, what would you say in lieu of they didn't have their subscription turned, or you need to get your subscription turned? What is the verbiage?
Well, so to clarify, what they were saying is, I got 15 of them that just didn't even turn on this month. I got 15 of them that just didn't turn off, that turned off this month. I got 15 that did da 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 da, turn on, turn off, and they're not saying it in a sentence. It's just a phrase that was used a lot when I started Plexus. And so anybody who's been around for a long time, you could just say, really, it really to me, it's a grindy sounding phrase because it sounds like it's more about points than people. You understand what I'm saying? So helping people make sure that they know and understand the subscription order. That would be the verbiage that sounds less grindy than get people turn their thing on. Turn it on, because it doesn't count for me if you're not. You see what I'm saying? I understand that it's vocabulary, but some of it is a turn off. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like some vocabulary, like getting your own website, people go, whoa. They may not even say it to you, but in their head, they're going, I don't know how to build a website. We don't think about that, do we? Am I going to have to, what? Okay, I don't understand. People understand referral link. People understand. People who are using their iPhones much understand subscription orders. People understand enrolling for something rather than signing up. I don't know why. That one is not one that I caught myself. I saw a list of words that someone at corporate or someone had designed. I don't know where that list is, just to head that question off. But I can't even remember. I feel like I was at corporate when I saw a list of words to use and words not to use based on literally asking people what they thought you meant when you said it. We have a culture that's all our own, that once you're in it, you get it. But before you're in it, you can get confused and my upline, both of those. Nope. My friend is much better. If somebody wants specifically to understand why you're trying to get them in a group chat with your friend, you could say, well, this is the lady who got me started in the business. This is the girl who got me started in the business. She knows more than I do. Sponsor is kind of formal sounding. Upline is a little formal sounding. And I kind of feel like maybe if you break it right now, this is like I feel like since I've been praying over this social media challenge, I've been praying over this month, I've been praying over you guys as individual legs of my team. I've been praying over those others that are friends of mine who fall within my umbrella. And I feel like what I'm preparing you for, and I'm going to try to say this all in one sentence without crying, is I think we're going to have a big shove of leadership that's about to happen to a lot of you, because when you're in momentum season and you decide to take it by the reins, you kind of want to be, well, you're going to get there. When you ride the rocking horse, you get there. And if you're going to take it by the reins, you're going to get there. And what you need to know is that in the culture of building your own team, let's say you're a silver or you're brand new, in the culture of building your own team and starting your own business, there are a few things that your team won't even ever understand. They will never have said sign up if you're brand new. Do you understand what I'm saying? They will have never said auto qualification if they're brand new. If you've been around for a long time, it's just something you need to break off of yourself, so that when you're talking to people, you're using unified language that I'm talking about everybody understands, not just Plexus people. I see language in testimonies sometimes that for example, now Robin's video, it was made to speak to Jules. She's telling us, people in the Diamond page were like, how did you do it? And how did you do that so fast? And so she made a video, and it's full of jargon that Diamonds understand. I mean, the whole video before and after, there was so much more of even stuff that you'd be like, what is she talking about? It's not stuff that you need to know. It's not stuff that you have to know in order to become a diamond, because I didn't know most of the jargon. I was an emerald before I understood pretty much anything. And then even once I became an emerald, I got in there and their jargon confused me. Like, I didn't need to know upline was kind of self-explanatory, but I didn't need to know what an upline was to become a jewel. I didn't need to know the terminology and all that kind of stuff. So also, I feel like I'm supposed to be equipping some of you in just a few of the little nuances. Those are all you think, well, I mean, yeah, tomato, but these are just little significant nuances, just tiny little tweak this a little, tweak that a little. Let's start using stories, okay? That kind of stuff. Let's do this together as a team. I'm going to link arms with you. I'm going to show you it's not scary. And interestingly, I hardly ever I never tell someone to do something I'm not willing to do myself, and or haven't already done myself. And I usually don't tell somebody to do something that I haven't already been doing for a long time myself. Stories was an example of breaking that rule off of me. Like, it wasn't a rule, but I'm saying, rather than me getting in there and trying to do stories the right way for, 6 weeks before I bring it to you guys and say, this is how I mapped it out. This is me linking arms with you guys and going, let's trudge through this together. It's not difficult. I love the fact that you can add a poll on it. And after you've done the poll, your friends are going to catch on that. And after enough people have clicked the wrong one or accidentally clicked it or whatever. Also, I will tell you that on some of the ones that I'm sharing with you guys, the poll is down low or over to the right. I have noticed, and I know someone else said this in a group that I'm in today, that you may have to make another graphic, because I'm stealing these from people, but you may have to make another graphic to where the poll is not down where people accidentally touch. Does that make sense? Because that's what I've had more than one person say, I don't. Now, if you put it on the top, if you put it on the top, you might not have as many click it, but you're probably going to have people who are intentionally clicking it. Trying to think, there's probably, yeah. I'm not going to say that it's wrong to start conversations with people who accidentally clicked it, because they say, what? When you say, what questions did you have? That's probably what you said. What were your questions? And they go, what? Or they ignore you. And you're like, well, I guess they didn't have questions. I don't know. In those instances, if they say, what? You say, oh, girl, I thought you clicked my poll. It showed me that you clicked my poll. You probably did it on accident. Do you have some Plexus questions? Smiley face. Maybe that wasn't an accident after all. See, this is something I would do in a voice message. I would say, I've done it already. I would say, oh, it showed me that you clicked my poll asking me that, saying you had some questions about Plexus. Maybe it wasn't an accident after all. Do you have some questions? And let them see what they say, because you never know when something like that is going to take off. So far, it hasn't, that particular thing. But am I mad about it? No, I'm not. The reason I'm not mad about it is because I am brand new at this. And you know what? When I watch Erin, for example, she's not on here tonight. I watch Erin do stories, and I'm like, I'm not very good at that. And you know why I said that? Because I hadn't tried it. I said, Erin's good at stories. She knows how to, look at that. She puts one and then she layers it. Oh, look at that. And then the next one asks, it says, oh, and antioxidants. Oh, and look at that. Look how she did that. And I go, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Well, now that it's all broken down for you and you kind of see the idea behind it, there are groups that you can join that have stories. Plexus groups that have several, where people just go in there and share their stories, share exactly like what we're doing in our event, just a stream of pictures that the last one has a poll, okay?
If they click on it accidentally, just make a joke out of it. Oh, girl, I've done stupid stuff, or I've messed up, or I've whatever. Make it, and then you can get a conversation going.
Yeah.
You may not be talking about Plexus, but you're building a relationship now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that way, the more fun that you keep everything, I'm telling you right now, I have taken a huge shift in gears in the last 3 months in my business altogether. and I'm playing more to the fun aspect of it because Plexus is fun. The Plexus culture is like the absolute best. And in the beginning, when I was playing more to the serious, all the science and all the diseases, I'm not saying that actually fit the season, not the season that I was in or that the world was in, but it fit the season that Plexus was in at that time. To be taken seriously in the beginning, before you are a household name, you have to, I guess, do what we did, which is like lay it out for people and then lay out serious results. It's almost like you're like, I'm going to dig another hole so people can understand we're really planting trees out here. And then after a while, people go, oh, look at that tree. Oh, look at that tree. It grew some. Oh my gosh. Are you looking at that? Look what they did. Oh. And then that's when it starts becoming a household name. People go, oh, those are the tree diggers. Yeah. Yeah. I had a cousin who did it. She like shot straight through it. I mean, or I had a neighbor's friend who said that they did it and they did really good and they're actually paying their bills with it now, all this stuff. And that's where we are now. So now it's time to play to the fun because you don't got to be so serious. Now, if that's your nature, if your nature is to be that way, then I'm not asking anybody to change. So there's that too. Okay. Another thing that she mentioned that Robin mentioned was a list of 100. I was one of those people that did not want to make a list of 100 people under any circumstance. I absolutely wasn't going to hand it to somebody and let them hold me accountable to it because, I mean, shove it up your butt. That's how I felt about it. But I will tell you that for your own good, whether you hand it to anybody or not, it's probably smart just to realize how serious you are or are not, to make yourself a list of 100 people and to start plucking through that list, even if you're going to do it to comment on people's posts on Facebook and warm it up. I mean, you got to start somewhere. I will tell you that this is not a season to only be warming things up for a long time because this is the season of reaping the harvest of the work that you've done. In my opinion, that's what it is. Okay. So I'm going to share the verbiage with you guys in my groups that I said about how to get people in the group. If that doesn't feel authentic to you, then it's just a different personality type to me because I was doing this to people before I ever looked at it as a strategy. Like, I thought, oh gosh, here's how this happened to me over and over. Oh, I see somebody miserable and I think, oh my gosh, I want them to see Krista Deary's video so bad. It's in my group. Krista, did you save that video on your phone? I want to send it to somebody. No, girl, I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay, well, I mean, what's the worst? I could just say, here, I have something I want to show you, but it's in this group. That happened to me over and over, specifically with Krista's story, because Krista's story is so impressive and authentic and real and far-reaching. It reaches far more people than we actually know, neighbors and friends who you don't know that they are that miserable. Krista Deary's story. To me, I mean, I think everybody that you add to that group, that should be something that you tag them in, is one of her testimonies, because most people who are posting about something on Facebook that's not lining up with the way they would like their life to look, most people, something Krista Deary has said would resonate with them. She's very real. I think authenticity she has a gift of it. It's just beautiful. So that is how I started adding people to the group. And then when I saw how easy it was, I was like, God, I'm just going to literally add people to the group that way. I'm not going to wait for an event. I'm not going to wait, because natural curiosity takes over. I'm just telling you, nosiness, whatever you want to call it, when you add somebody to a group and you tag them in one thing, well, they're in there by that point. And the clicking around, you can tell them, hey, there are tag them in one. Say, hey, that search bar at the top of that group is like my best friend. Anytime I'm looking for something, I go that search bar and I type in a keyword. So you might be able to pull up a dozen more that I haven't seen yet, and let them start using the search bar, seeing what else they can find. Then they need to be in a list of people that you are going to follow up with. I'm hoping that everything I'm sharing with you guys tonight feels authentic. Yay! Oh, well, I think I looked up and Linda had said yes. I hope you're responding to what I just asked, but you may have said yes already before I asked that. I feel, okay, good. I feel that this business has to be fun, authentic. It doesn't need to feel like a business. And also, I will tell you this too. If you're portraying it, I'm saying in the beginning, if you're portraying it to people like a business who are not looking for a business. Now, the ones that are looking for a business, you should show them the breakdown of, you should send them a graphic that shows them the great breakdown of the Power of Three. You should send them a video about how the compensation plan works, those types of things. But if it's someone who is like, I'm not looking for a business, but if you immediately portray it to them like, I got another job for you, nobody's sitting around thinking, I wish I had a job, another job. Even moms, stay-at-home moms, are not sitting around going, I just wish I had a job. Everybody's got enough things to do, right? So, fun, lighthearted. It's the season we're in. Getting people in that group. The group, the Beauty Inside and Out group is the group I'm talking about. That's the group where we put our friends so that they can see testimonies. That particular group was a God idea to do it when we did it, and now it's almost like the season that we did it in was more of a winter feeling season, you know, where you're like, where is the fruit? But now that same group is very ripe with lots of good content, searchable material, consistent testimony posting, and consistent every month at least one event that's happening in there. If you do add someone who has a little bit more of a serious tone, like serious about what you're talking about, you should definitely show them how to click on the notification settings and make it to where everything that's posted in there shows to them. If you have a new ambassador, that should be one of the first things you show them, is you say, here's the team page, here's the group where we add, this is the group where we add testimonies so that we have stuff to show for our friends and family. Prospecting is a word I wouldn't use on someone who is new. They're like, a what? So this is the group that we use to where we add testimonies and you can read and it's searchable and all of that stuff. This is that group. You're going to want to go in there and turn on your notifications to where you see all posts that come in here. So you'll be notified when there's a new testimony to read. You'll be notified when there's a new event coming up, that type of thing, so you don't miss out. That's for new ambassadors. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it with someone that you're adding in there as well. But if you have a new ambassador, their belief is built a little bit more every time someone shares a testimony. By the way, wait, before I jump to that, hang on. If you think you would be interested in the worksheet that Robin was using, that's something that probably already is in our team page, but I will add it again. Let's see. I'm going to pause really quick and see if anybody has any questions, because I took off kind of like out of a rocket, and it feels a little mumble jumbled to me. I know a lot of you that are on here were probably able to track with me on what we were talking about. Yes, please remind me of that, Elaine. Okay, another thing that I'm still willing to field some questions if you guys want to put some questions in the chat. Another thing that I felt a very strong leading to do was on these calls, summarize at the end and basically give you, because we kind of go deep, 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 deep all over the place. So at the end, right now, which is now, we're ending this. I'm going to pray over us. But before we go to the prayer, I want to say this. Those of you who are focusing on the social media challenge right now and you take it seriously, and let's also really work on, while we're working on the social media challenge, breaking off history. If you've worked the business, I want you to picture a chunk of, I don't know, where maybe the business wasn't working for you in the last whatever timeline. I want you to break that off of you and have expectation in your heart, no matter how hard that is. And I want you, if your faith level is I don't know, maybe this business is not for me, if you're new, or I don't know, whatever let's break off history tonight and let's pretend like we're starting brand new, and let's not carry with us the feelings of last season, because I can promise you it's a different season. I felt something shift in the middle of quarantine, and it wasn't before I actually saw any fruit of the shift. And then all of a sudden it was boom, I've got people coming out of the woodworks who used to be with Plexus who want to do it again. And I'm like, whoa. And I've seen a lot of that. And so I do believe that expectation in your heart is an element that either way will prove you true. The expectations of your heart will prove you true. So if you have expectation, yes, if you have expectation in your heart of something going well, it will. I do believe that. So Becky's saying she strongly recommends Tara Castaneda's Motivation Monday video on stories. I agree. I think we've actually played hers on one of our calls before. I know we've played one of hers. It may not be the one that Becky's recommending specifically, but yes. Also, I can promise you there are probably little 3-minute tutorials on how to make fun stories on YouTube or Pinterest. There are probably lots of fun things. And if you have those word swag apps or the other apps that I have told you guys about in the past that make graphics, you may be like, I don't know how to do all of that. Well, it's pretty point and click. It's very simple. And in your downtime, you should devote, let's say you normally spend downtime doing something else, watching a show or browsing Facebook. But if you'll take 20 minutes a day for the next few days just to hone some skills, you'll be glad that you did. 20 minutes a day, one of them to learn, okay, I'm going to actually load word swag and I'm going to actually put some effort into it and not let myself get distracted by notifications from something else. That's something I've had to really do with myself. I've had to very much discipline myself that I just don't touch everything that shows me a red number 1. Do you understand what I'm saying? 1. Okay, the OCD in people, and that's an actual disorder. I'm not going to speak that on anybody, but y'all understand what I say when I'm playfully saying that if you're one of those that looks down and you see a red number 1, for example, someone posted something on Marketplace and you're like, oh, I want to make that 1 go away by looking at it. Oh, what is that? Oh, okay. 20 minutes later and you go, oh, wait. Oh, there's people around. I should be there's something about those phones. Did you know that there's an actual dopamine release when you push the button of a notification? And after a while, you've got your brain so hooked on dopamine that you almost can't stop yourself from grabbing a notification when it drops down and looking at it. I have disciplined myself, and now, gosh, it's kind of like when someone has a drug addiction and they think they could never turn loose of it. They're like, I wasn't that bad and I could never turn loose of it. And then once they do, they go, oh gosh, I can't believe that I was letting so much of my life get sucked up into red number ones and drop down notifications. Now I've got, I had to go in Twitter because boy, I got wrapped up in Twitter there for a while. I had to go, I'm not unfollowing people, but some of them I had it set to where it would notify me every time they tweeted something because they were super smart, right? And then I finally realized, no, they tweet the same thing over and over. It's all the same stuff. It's just another way to say something. So I'll go in and I say, I'm not going to unfollow them so that when I want to go look at Twitter, I can spend some allotted time. But it's not like constantly saying, look at Twitter, girl. Hey, look at Twitter again. Same thing with Facebook. If you have it set to where it notifies you for every blooming thing, or YouTube, whatever, everybody's got their own thing. If you have it set to where it's like your phone, if you sit at dinner and your phone goes bzz, 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 then you need to turn some things off. That's where you can say turn on and turn off. Turn off some notifications. You probably have the push notifications on one of your apps sitting there saying, girl, didn't you have when was the last time you got a dopamine release? When did you get that? I will tell you, my business has exploded since I turned off the dopamine release. My business has just been like boom, boom, boom. And you would think that that'd be opposite, wouldn't you? Yep. That's because I've literally got off my phone. I go water my flowers, come back in, sit down for a few minutes, look at the list of things that I was supposed to do. Oh yeah, I was going to order this from Amazon. I was going to send this person a text. I was going to post about the stories that we're working on right now. I was going to do those 4 things, and then sit my phone down. Go actually do something else. Don't let my phone walk around with me. And also, I can't remember who brought it up last time, but basically the whole concept of, since I feel like I'm shaping leaders right now, some of you leaders might end up having significant others who are begrudging your time on your phone. And if that's the case, it probably need to turn some notifications off. Now, if you're a newbie, you need to set some of the notifications in the Beauty Inside and Out group, because it's not going to be texting you all day long. It's just going to show you when there is a relevant testimony posted, something that will help build belief so that you'll understand. Also, when you see one of those testimonies, it's liable to make you think of someone you grew up with, someone you go to church with, a neighbor, a friend, a cousin. You're liable to read something and go, oh my gosh, I didn't know Plexus helped with that. I got to tell my cousin about that. Okay. And that's when you're going to go, hey, there's something I want to tag you in. Okay. Is that okay? And they say, okay. And then you go and you put them in that group, you send them the link to the group, and then you move forward just like what we talked about earlier in this call. Set the notifications in the Beauty Inside and Out group. The only time that group would drive you crazy is during an actual event. And I can promise you, in those moments, it's driving me crazier than it's driving you. Because I'm the one making the posts. And every single person that comments on every single post is just like, do, 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 do. That's okay. I set aside that window of time to be able to be where I can, all those things. I feel like I want everybody in this group tonight to do one more thing. I know you're doing the social media challenge. I know you have an event that you need to be inviting people to for Thursday night. I feel like there's one more thing that you need to do, and that's tonight before we pray. You need to be honest with yourself about if there is something that's so far in this business that has held you back. If you know what it is, I want you to talk to yourself about that right now. I'm not going to open it up individually because then it would turn into a whole different like counseling session, right? But I want you to come into agreement with me while we pray that we're going to break off excuses. Eek. I meant to hit my Dropbox and turn my music on. We're going to come into agreement with if you're new and you're on this call and you're like, most of this call didn't make sense to me, then I encourage you to watch last week's call, because that was specifically for new ambassadors, giving you some tips. I also encourage you to get in on this social media challenge that we're doing. My daughter is basically just now starting her Plexus business, like really kicking it into gear. And like I said, we're sending samples off tomorrow. I bought her today at the Dollar General. I bought pretty cards that just look like a thank you note, but are just blank on the inside. I probably have something like it right here. Anyway, just something that's in a small envelope that she can write in, so that when she's sending these samples out, she's sending them something in writing as well. Here's your sample, and maybe tells them how to use it. Something simple in her own words, but it gives it that personal touch. Those cost me like $1 for 8 of them. There's something about on your end, the follow-up, when you've invested your time, your money, and your handwriting into something. Like, there's something about it that you're going to follow up, and they know you are. And on their end, they expect you to. This is not some agency that's sending out calendars to everyone. It's you. It's your individual time. It's your individual handwriting. It's your sample and your postage that you're handing out. And it just seems more real to people when they get it, if it has a little personal touch. I'm not gonna lie to you. There have been many times that I've stuck a sample in an envelope and prayed it got to them. That's it, and that's all I've done. Because if I was like, I gotta get this done, I gotta get it done, just get it in the mail, had Jetty do it and just didn't put any personal touch to it. I've done that a lot. But since we're in the season of reaping what we've sown, I want to make sure that the seeds that I'm sowing are filled with pretty pink bubbles and hearts and glitter. And I'm not talking about, if that's not your style, then you don't need to do that. But I'm saying, be honest to who you are, be true to yourself, and put yourself out there for people. I'm not saying literally. Put yourself out there in a way that is sharing part of your love, part of your culture, part of your heart with people. Okay, so Graciela, I wanted to read exactly what you said here because I see people saying, yay. Oh, good. Oh, yes. Okay, very good. Graciela has a procedure coming up on Friday, is that right? Are they calling it a biopsy? Okay. I thought so. Then I thought that may be more than what I'm, oh, there it is. Oh, you already said it, sorry. Okay, I know what it's for, but I didn't know if that's what they were actually calling it. So I'm just gonna say right now, we just covered that with the blood of Jesus. If you're new to our team, then I am glad you're here. We're gonna pray. I'm always wondering if that makes anybody uncomfortable, but I will tell you that I've had so many answered prayers in my life, especially since I started to really pray, that I think it would be remiss of me not to pray over you guys. So God, I just thank you for every single person that you've brought into my life through what we do. God, even those that have drifted away, even those that maybe I didn't have enough in common with to where it's like maybe we've parted ways. I still thank you for that experience and for what I learned from those experiences, because I'm going to tell you what, I've had a lot of those experiences. And God, that I just repent for any times that in this business or otherwise that that I have used my energy or wasted my energy or whatever on anything that's negative, because God, I know that this life that we live is all intended for growth, for us to learn and unlearn behaviors, learn new behaviors, learn new ways, godly ways of dealing with things, and really just to let go of coping skills that are not helping us. God, right now, tonight, I just let go of defensive coping skills. God, I ask that you would plant new seeds of ways for me to know how to deal with people, to know how to talk to people. God, that you would bring godly examples into my life and show me ways to walk out relationships. Right now, I just speak peace and love over the relationships in our life. I just declare and decree open, receptive hearts amongst those who you are calling us to reach out to. You know, it's when you're feeling a little bit like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do, what to say. Genevieve always says, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You're not going to mess it up. I don't know if I said that backwards. You can't say the wrong thing. Yeah. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. But I will just say that I don't think that there are any wrong people. She just means that some people are not cut out for this, and it's not supposed to be part of their life plan and all that, right? But God, I thank you for every lesson along the way. And you know what? I know that the enemy's intent was to get me to stumble and stay in the place where I wasn't grateful and I was aggravated and tormented by old seasons. I choose today to let everything be a shift and consider everything a learning experience. God, I break off the old season off of me in my life. I'm not talking about my business specifically. I'm talking about my life in general, business included. I break off any old season and any hardened places in my heart. And instead, I just say, God, soften those places in me again so I can be receptive and loving, caring. God, I pray a leadership anointing over every single person who listens to this call. Like an open heaven of godly leadership where we love on people, we care about people, we use words and language and vocabulary that keeps their defenses down so that they can really hear our heart. You know, that's what we're doing. It's like, I want them to hear my heart. I want them to understand that what I'm offering is real. God, that you would train us and teach us how to let our authenticity bubble to the surface of what we do. God, our heart is for you. Our heart is for the kingdom. May we have kingdom in our minds and in our hearts when we interact with other people. And when someone responds to us in a way that is not very tender or likable or whatever, may we just chalk it up to pray for that person and release, bless and release. It's literal. Do you know that I have had people, and I'm not the only person in this company, that I have had people literally like jump my butt for talking about plexus, who later come around and say, okay, you wore me out. I call those people, I used to call those people bullies, because it's like they want to see if they can get you to shut up. That's what it seems like. But really, it's all from their own place of hurt, their own place of misunderstanding. God, I just break all of those old memories off of us right now. And all we take forward with us is just what we've learned. This applies to relationships outside of your business. I hope you're hearing my all-inclusive tone here. Relationships and work situations, we break off the old season and we march forward with the new. And I'm not talking about some new normal where everybody wears a mask. No. I'm talking about a new normal where disease is wiped free from this planet. God, I declare and decree that diseases are not a part of your plan. I do not believe that we have to stay 6 feet apart. I believe that you have something else in store, and I call it forward right now. God, I call forward your plan for this planet, for this United States of America, but for the whole world, for all cultures, all skin colors, that everyone, I call the unified mind of Christ over everyone. I declare and decree a unified mind of Christ over the entire planet. That people's eyes would be open to things of truth, and that they would learn how to filter out anything that is not true, anything that is a lie. God, let your Holy Spirit fire fall on these Plexus businesses that are represented, that are listening in tonight. God, let your anointing fuel a fire that might have been dim. New sparks, new enthusiasm. God, there are reasons. There are plenty of reasons that people have that want this business to work, that need this business to work for them. And God, raise up a measure of boldness so that they would kick the excuses out of the way. They would kick everything to the curb that doesn't line up with what you have in store for them. Lord, I don't know why you have this. I don't know why this world is made the way it is, but I don't truly believe in a 40-hour work week. I have no agreements with a 40-hour work week. And I do believe that by loving on people and caring about people and praying over people and sharing with people what I know can work as a business model, as an income stream for families, I believe, because I believed it before I manifested it. I believed it before I saw it happen for anybody else. I believed it before. I believed that we're not destined to just work our fingers literally to the bone. I believe we're created for more than that. I break off any form of enslavement mentality off of everyone right now in Jesus' name. If you have been enslaved to a 40-hour work week, I break that off of you. If you believe that that's the only way that you can get ahead in life, I break that off of you in Jesus' name. I break that belief off of you. Thank you, Jesus. We were made for so much more. I declare and decree that we line up with that. Speak all of this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ himself. Amen. Glad you guys could hop on here tonight. I'm gonna pause the recording real quick. I'm gonna stop the recording. Stop.